not be a St. Joseph High School next year. Its 40-year history ended with a storybook finish. The Vikings won the Division II Ohio Football Championship under Bill GUTBROD, the only coach in St. Joe's proud history. Ron Yance reviews the magical season from the high school sports desk. Ron?
Gib, on a rainy night in November, as St. Joseph prepared for their state semifinal game against Steubenville, senior linebacker Bill SPLETE talked of true blue. As you said, there will never be another St. Joseph High School. And as far as SPLETE and his teammates were concerned, there will never be another true St. Joseph football team. 2 weeks later, true blue came through. So here's a look from August to November. If the St. Joseph regular season had to be characterized, the Massillon game would be a perfect example. It came with only 2 weeks left on the schedule. It followed 2 consecutive losses, and it probably was the turning point for the 1989 Viking team. St. Joe's won 14-7 in Massillon. There was defense, but the Vikings always played great defense. That aspect was probably the team's strength. They gave up only an average of 9 points a game all year. Brian Brown returned the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and although a penalty nullified the score,
is she still crying a lot?
Later, Brown would score again, this time for keeps.
Or is it calming down?
Most. First team All-Ohio quarterback Tony Miller.
Is she calming down a little bit or still screaming?
A multi-dimensional weapon. He passed and he rushed. For the year, Miller rushed for 657 yards and passed for 677 more. He scored 15 touchdowns. Senior Steve Clark was also an offensive leader. Clark led a trio of fine St. Joseph running backs with 879 yards and 7 touchdowns in 9 games. The Vikings finished the regular season 7-2. Next was the playoffs. They would not lose again. Game 1 came on a cold and snowy Friday night in Menor. The 9-1 Geneva Eagles were the competition, but that was just a formality. St. Joe's built a huge 28-0 lead, and Tony Miller had a big night. 170 yards in total offense with 2 touchdown passes, including this scrambling setting strike to a wide-open Chris Stevers. Steve Clark was once again their bulldog in the backfield. Clark wasn't a fancy runner, he just made sure he got where he needed to get. And on this night, 77 yards was enough. Disregard a meaningless touchdown by Geneva, and the defense was dominant. A very real sign of things to come. The Vikings win it 35-8. The very explosive Solon Comets were next. The Comets were 10-1, ranked in the top 10 in Ohio, and had enough offensive options to test even the mighty St. Joe defense. It would be a test that the Vikings would pass. On the game's first series, Solon marched to the St. Joe 3-yard line. They got no further. A swarming Viking maze of red and blue stopped the Comet drive. On Solon's next series, defensive back Scott Petch hit quarterback Dave Iwan with a hit so hard that it could have cracked the blacktop underneath the artificial turf. But Solon's defense was equally effective, and after 1 quarter, there was no score. In the second quarter, St. Joe's proud offensive line went to work. They produced holes, big holes, good enough for Tony Miller and good enough for this. Senior Robert Gardner from 9 yards out had the extra point, and the Vikings led 7-0. The lead did not hold. Solon's offense struck quickly. First, a 20-yard pass completion to the sidelines, and then a 43-yard bullet bomb right down the middle. Everything was tied at 7, and that's how the half ended. The third quarter went quickly. The Vikings' offense was one-dimensional. Run. St. Joe's did not record a passing yard in the game. They didn't need to. Starting from their own 47 late in the quarter, Steve Clark broke into the secondary for 14 of his game-high 86 yards rushing. Sam Woodfolk followed next, and as the quarter came to a close, the Vikings were at the goal line. Then, on the very first play of quarter number 4, 4th down and goal from the 1, Clark and Bill SPLETE led the way, and Tony Miller walked in, hands triumphantly in the air, and St. Joseph had forced a 14-7 lead, and Solon would get no closer. St. Joseph moved on to step 3, the state semifinals. It was Final Four week, and although football was the #1 thing on everyone's mind, there was also something else. After 40 years of St. Joseph True Blue, the legacy was coming to an end. Next year, St. Joseph High School would merge with Villa Angela, an all-girls school. The Vikings would still be called the Vikings, but it really wouldn't be the same. It was almost appropriate tonight that the Vikings of St. Joseph practice under a dark and rainy sky. Not because the football season is almost over. It is very much alive with the Vikings in Ohio's Final Four. But because the days of St. Joseph High School are almost gone.
I think the community cares a lot. You know, it's been 40 years of what we like to think excellence, and it's coming to a close. And, you know, there's a lot of melancholy feelings about it, and rightly so. So it does have a deep meaning.
Once the merger's out, we don't think we don't feel it'll be St. Joe's anymore. We really want to do a lot of things for St. Joe's this year. Put things like they should have been a long time ago.
There has never been a state football championship won at St. Joe's. These Vikings are 2 games away from doing that.
It'd be the best. It'd be the greatest experience of all our lives. It's something we could look back on, something we could always remember.
Great things that came out of St. Joe's. People also. So it's a lot of pride in St. Joe's that when you walk up and down the halls, it's just, the staff, everyone at the school has a lot of pride.
I remember sitting in the stands in 8th grade and 7th grade, watching my brother play. And that's all I dreamed about was playing for St. Joe's and being a Viking. Now I'm a Viking, it's my senior year and I really want to do something.
Like win it all. Not only for good old St. Joe's, but for the only coach the Vikings have ever had.
If anybody deserves it, he does. I mean, the time and effort he's put into it, he deserves it.
It's always nice to hear that, but the victory is what counts, that's all. That's very important for the entire community, just the victory. How they get it, I don't care, just as long as it's a victory.
They needed 2, and on a bitterly cold night in mid-November, the Vikings got #1. The Big Red of Steubenville had advanced to the state championship game twice in 2 years. This year they were 11-1, but there would be no third trip to Columbus. Once again, the defense controlled the game. The Vikings sacked Steubenville 7 times, and the Big Red offense could only produce 144 total yards in 4 quarters against that St. Joe D. Offensively, Robert Gardner had fun following the enormous blocks from his front line. Gardner rushed for 82 yards and many times set up his quarterback for the score. And Tony Miller let no one down. First from 3 yards out in the second quarter. Next, a 1-yard dive just before the half. And finally, a 4-yard keeper to wrap things up. Miller finished with 121 total yards in offense, 3 touchdowns, and St. Joseph shut out Steubenville 19-0. It was the 5th time that the Vikings had played in the state semifinal game, but it was the first time they'd won it.
You talk about it all the time, and we've been sort of, we lose out on step 3. Somewhere along the line, we lost out 4 times in step 3, and this is the time we made it. We wanted to beat that so-called jinx. First of all, down here in the rubber ball and step 3, and we did it this year.
It feels great. It's just the fact that, we're going down the state, we never been down there before, and this is like the 40th year for St. Joseph, of what St. Joseph people call excellence, and just to top it off with a state championship would be great. And Coach GUTBROD, he deserves all this possible. We want to go down and win it for our whole team, and for the coaching staff, and also for Coach GUTBROD and the school.
I don't know where they went. I can't explain.
There was one thing, though, that Coach GUTBROD had no trouble explaining, and that was if this team of 59 players was to win it all, it would come down to defense. It's a common philosophy in football. Defense wins championships.
Like last year alone, our state game showed that, the defense does win the championships, but, the offense gets the people to the stadium, because they're exciting to watch and everything. But when it comes down to it, the defense has to be there, or, you're not gonna win championships.
The defense is definitely there for St. Ignatius and St. Joseph. On Saturday, the Wildcats tamed a very explosive Massillon offense. Last Friday, the Vikings just plain shut out Steubenville.
The hard hitting and the quickness. And on this defense, we don't have much size at all. And we probably average about 175 pounds. But we hit hard, we're tough, and we're quick.
And right now, we're at the point where we feel confidence that we can win a state championship again with the deep people we have.
Our defense has a real good chance of winning this weekend. We put a lot of time in. At first, I didn't think we were going to make it, but we're pulling together really good. We're coming together as a team, so I think we can do it.
Most of the games, I think defense wins the game for you. The offense can put points on the board, but if we don't have a good defense, I mean, they can score at will, so I take a little bit more pride in defense.
This weekend, the defenses of St. Ignatius and St. Joseph will try to tackle one more opponent. And this time, it's for the state championship.
I heard they have a really good quarterback, and there'll be just one more top player we're facing this year, and we've had a good track record with winning players that we've played against, and hopefully we'll just come up with another great defensive effort.
The running back's supposed to be really tough, and so far we're the best against the run, so hopefully if we keep it up, we'll come home with the state championship.
At St. Joe's, the students are waiting for their school's first state title, and every day, the bulletin board in the main hallway reminds Viking fans just where their team is headed. Everyone's ready, from the secretary to the teachers, dressed in red and blue and holding on for Saturday.
Definitely. I'm excited. I hope they are too. I think that's the way we're going to all go and get people involved.
Naturally, I predicted we're going to be state champs.
I wanted to go on the PA and yell my brains out, but now I got an opportunity to come on this prestigious show and tell all the viewers out there, we are going to win. We are St. Joe's. We are proud. We are one. We are the best.
I got that feeling. It's in this team. I got that feeling. We have a dream. I got that feeling. It's in our face. I got that feeling. We will win.
And that they did. Their challenger, Fostoria, owners of a perfect 13-0 record, ranked #1 in Ohio, and blessed with Casey Macbeth, a tailback voted as the state's Division II co-most valuable player. But the Vikings had their head coach, a man after his first state title. Fostoria's Macbeth rushed for 24 of his game-high 148 yards on the team's first series, and the Redmen drove to the Viking 18. The defense, however, held, and a 35-yard field goal attempt missed. On St. Joe's third series, they took the ball from their own 23. 3 plays later, Tony Miller broke it outside, and no one caught him. The Vikings were in the end zone and on the scoreboard, 7-0.
You know, we had a little roll going, and they were expecting Steve up with the ball up the middle, and then we just went outside. Bill Spleet threw a nice block. And, Spleet caught a good fake, and I just had to outrun this one guy. And luckily I did.
Fostoria answered quickly, though, and Macbeth was a part of it. A 29-yard screen pass for a touchdown. The score was tied at 7 in the second quarter. On the next series, Tony Miller fumbled after being hit hard, and Fostoria had the ball at the Viking 36. 10 plays later, Macbeth scored, and Fostoria led 14-7 at halftime.
And we had to realize this is our last game. We're not going to get another chance. And so we decided that we were going to do it, and we did.
We went in the locker room. We felt kind of down, but, Tony Miller's a great leader. He picked us all up and got us playing ball like we're supposed to.
And that didn't take very long. On the second play of the second half, Mark Wurtenberger, Scott Petch, and Bruce LEIDE caused the fumble in the Fostoria backfield. LEIDE picked it up, fell into the end zone, and as he rounded the corner celebrating as he ran, the Vikings were even 14-14.
There was like an option, and I just get ready to hit the quarterback. All of a sudden I see the ball on the ground. I just picked it up and dove in. Did the best I could.
St. Joseph stuffed the Fostoria offense on the very next series. The Redmen were forced to punt from their own 32. Brian Brown received it at the Viking 35. Blocks followed from Tony Miller, Bill Spleet, and Dan Regovich, and Brown was gone. A 65-yard punt return for a touchdown, a new state record. The Vikings had scored twice in 3.5 minutes and St. Joe's led 21-14.
That was a highlight of my career. I mean, that's unreal. I mean, we've been working on that all year. My coach, Coach Shane, we've been talking about it forever. And there's just no time any better than to do it. I mean, that was unbelievable. It was great.
And that was it for Fostoria, although they had a chance. The Redmen moved the ball inside the St. Joseph 10 with time running out in the third quarter. They got to the 1, but on 4th down and goal from the 1, that Viking defense held.
That goal line stand, that's a classic goal line stand. I mean, that happens, I mean, it's an incredible feeling when you stop someone 4th and 1 on the goal line to win a state title. And plus an interception in the end of the game, just great. It's lifetime memory.
The interception was made by Brian Brown. St. Joseph got the ball back and let the time run off the clock. The final 21-14 Vikings and a state championship, the first in the school's history.
That's right. I mean, there were a lot of great teams that went through St. Joe's, a lot of great individual players, but none of those guys has accomplished what we did, and that was to win the state championship.
I don't think there's a better feeling. It is a great feeling. It really is. Nice. It was the only championship in the history of this school, and I was a part of it. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, 40 years to get it.
That should be solid gold, Coach.
I don't know where they went. I can't just play.
That was important. That he knew we'd come back. We knew that we could, and he just stuck with us the whole time. And we did.
It's just it puts you one step higher looking at him, because I've never seen someone want something so bad, and he really did want it, and so did we.
He's great. You know, he's very spiritual. You know, he's always there with me. He's not just like a coach that's come out there and tell you what to do.
He means a lot to me. He's helped me out a lot over the years. He's given me a chance, and I mean, I'm glad to be able to say that I played for him.
At the 35-yard line and running up the sidelines with blockers in front of him. He's caught. Brian Brown is going to go all the way. Touchdown, St. Joe's.
He and I have been together 25 years, and we've been working the sidelines a long time together. And he's the epitome of what St. Joe football is all about.
Pretty good. Pretty good. A little numb yet, but pretty good. Real good. Quite an honor. Quite an honor.
And Ron, that's the type of story, the kind of season that Hollywood should work on. Channel 43 will continue with the best high school sports coverage. And congratulations to everyone at St. Joseph High School, the home of real champions.
I got that feeling. It's in this team. I got that feeling. We have a dream. I got that feeling.